What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Money Mondays. Today, we're here to talk about business and how your exit will look from the business that you have created. And if you haven't created a business, I really suggest that you do because this is one of the most formidable beasts that there is on your wealth creation journey. Let's go ahead and begin the webinar. Here we are. How will you exit your business? Not the next guy, not the person beside you, not anybody else, but how will you exit your business? And that exit always comes. And the question is, will the exit be on your terms or somebody else's? Food for thought. More to be revealed in just a moment. So, not financial advice, of course, as we always say. Business, the most formidable beast when it comes to pulling wealth forward from the future and putting it into your hands. What do I mean from the future? Well, most assets generate you wealth over time. Most assets really take decades before they appreciate in value and accrue wealth until they achieve something meaningful. And when I say something meaningful, what I mean is you can reduce the amount of time that you spend working in order to sustain yourself, at least in part, from your assets, possibly fully as well. That takes many years. What about getting rich soon? What about being able to get rich overnight? How does that look? That begins via starting a business, or at least that's the quickest way anyway. Not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody wants to push themselves to that level and put themselves out there, of course, but it's just worth remembering that if we want to be rich, we want to do it quickly, this is where we have to go. And it's not easy, or else everyone would be doing it, but it is the only means in which we can achieve meaningful wealth over short periods of time, or be an incredible hotshot trader, but very few of those people exist. Businesses always start and end at some point. There's always going to be a beginning and an end. What most people do is they plan the beginning, they spend lots of time growing the business, but they never really actually think how their exit is going to look. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So there's 4 ways that you can exit your business. There's 4 ways that you can get out. There's 4 ways that you can leave. And here they are. And most people will have never had it broken down like this before. And I certainly hadn't until I picked this up a couple of months ago. Numero 1 is sell out. So when you start a business, obviously at some point, the idea is that you sell to a corporate, you sell, if you're a dental practice, maybe you grow your practice and sell to a corporate, and that comes at some stage and you make a large chunk of capital. Entrepreneur's relief means that you only pay 10% tax on that, and that's a huge chunk of change in your pocket. So the idea for most businesses is that they create it and you sell it as time goes on, and then you live off the proceeds. And of course, you think about how you can invest those proceeds. It's better to invest as you go along. There will be a lot of opportunities that you will miss out on as that happens, unless we think about doing it as we're growing the business. The other thing that will happen is if you sell the business, if you don't do it on the way along, you will have to do it at some point all at once at the end, and it's a lot less lucrative in terms of gains, and also you're penalized a lot more at that stage because the bill for the professional to manage that money will be much higher than what it would have been if we would have consistently done it throughout the period of the business growing. Most people who own businesses are unaware of how to invest and grow their wealth. Most people who are able to invest and grow their wealth are unaware of how to run a business. Those are actually your 2 real paths to be able to become wealthy with time. Really, the beautiful part is to be somewhere in between, and that's what I would encourage everybody to do. But of course, like I say, the main way, one of the 4 ways that we're here to talk about today, in which you will eventually exit your business, is that you will sell. That's the most obvious one. Now, let's delve a little deeper. Number 2, walk out. This is where you decide one day, actually, I've had enough. I can't even take one more day of this stuff. I gotta get out. I gotta go. Here's the keys. Here's the deeds. Here is the shares in the business. Here's the rights to own the business. They're yours. Just give it to the person next to you, and you leave that building, and you never want to hear about that thing ever again. You walk out. Hopefully it won't come to that. It wouldn't make sense to do this because you've obviously grown the thing at that point. Surely you might as well reap what you sow and get some sort of reward, some sort of slice of the proceeds from the thing that you've created. So I wouldn't advise walking out. However, I'm sure it's been done before by some people, and I'm sure it'll be done again. And that's what we have to consider. Walking out is a possibility. We don't want it to come to that, and therefore we have to think about how we might sell before it gets to that point, because we might have to walk out at some point, particularly if it comes to our health. So just think about this. It's another possibility. The third way is that you might get pushed out. Think about Elon Musk when he was initially running PayPal. He was initially running PayPal. He got kicked out. He got kicked out of the board because it was a public limited company, and the other board members decided that he wasn't up to the job anymore. So they kicked him out. They pushed him out. They kicked him off the board. So that can happen in big public companies where someone buys up your shares and then they ask you to leave. However, in dental practices, that's not really so much of an issue because they're usually limited companies, they're usually private companies. Therefore, you can't just push someone out, however much of a problem they become, or however much you disagree with your other colleagues. You can't just get pushed out, but it is possible that you might in bigger companies. And finally, the fourth way that you can exit your business, or well, that it's possible that you may exit your business. You don't usually choose to do it. When I say can, it sounds like it's an option that you would readily select. That is not the case. This is where you are carried out of the business. And this is the worst one of all. And this is where you basically just collapse. One day you pop your clogs on the job. And this will happen if we continue working, even if we love our work. Let's say we hit 100, the age of 100, we're still working in that business. Eventually our age is going to catch up with us and we might cease to be alive whilst we still own the business. Now, the worst thing that could possibly happen is if the business actively contributes to that because of stress, because of problems. That's not where we want to be at all. So therefore, if we don't do anything, this might happen by default, which is not the point. We created the whole thing to have freedom in the first place. Who really has freedom? Does this thing control you, or do you control it? Summary: choose your exit from your business before your exit chooses you. That's the point that I'm making. Basically, of those 4 ways to exit your business, 3 are negative, 1 is very lucrative and potentially positive. So the thing about it is, unless we plan for the positive and lucrative one, then by default, one of the 3 negative ones might happen to us. And that's where we don't want to be, big time. So what I'm saying to you is that we must actively take steps towards growing our business in such a way that we do have that exit in mind, that positive exit in mind, which is the sellout, lest one of the not so positive ones happen to us. And that is the lesson behind this whole webinar. This way it'll be on your terms, and most people don't start with the end in mind and therefore don't plan, and it comes back to haunt them. Congratulations on attending Money Mondays. I will see you again next week.